DC, Marvel, Sony, superhero movies.
Shit.
Here we go again. Superhero movies have made it a habit now in making sure that with every good piece of content they make, the next one is surely always going to be bad or subpar to say the least. We had Loki season 2 finale, a great show, followed by Miss Marvel or The Marvels the very next day, and we all know how that went. Now we had Deadpool and Wolverine trailer, which was awesome, broke so many records, so you already know how's Madam Web gonna turn out. Madam Web is the latest superhero movie from Sony based on Marvel Comics of the same name, and to give you a little description of what the movie is about, we follow the character of Cassie Webb, played by Dakota Johnson, who works as a paramedic. One day she has an accident on site, after which she starts having glimpses of future. How she comes to terms with these visions and her connection with three other teenage girls and her past forms the basic premise of the movie. This movie felt to me like a random collection of events that just happen, and you sort of try to go along with it thinking there might be something worth waiting for as you go deeper in the movie, and that payoff sadly never comes. We start the movie with our antagonist, our supposed main villain, Ezekiel Sims, played by Tahar Rahim, but he is no more than just a stereotypical villain who was nothing before but became super rich and achieved something from scratch, but you don't know how, because this movie tells you all of this in form of dialogues that too sometimes feels out of sync at times rather than the movie showing you. Everything is very convenient for him to get what he wants with whom he wants, with no real explanation of what his motives are. I was so hoping that maybe at least by the end of the movie they would spend some time showing why he is doing what he is doing, but that never happens. I don't even know why he was a bad guy. I guess I'm just to assume that he is inherently bad psychopath, and not just keep questioning the logic behind it. I might be going on in a rant here, really trying to keep it together and be an optimist, and what I did enjoy, or at least try to enjoy, was how different all four girls are and the distinct traits they bring to the group. The movie starts really slow and you don't even realize it's a superhero movie because it takes its sweet time to show a day in the life of Dakota Johnson as a hot paramedic. Only when all four girls meet is when things start getting interesting, things start getting spicy, and things start to speed up. Even though these girls are different, like I said, and we get to know all about their parental issues, but we don't really get to know them. I mean, what are we gonna do by knowing about their parents? We might get some context about them, but we don't actually know who they are, what they believe in and stuff. It's just the movie keeps us engaged in what they will become in the future, and we also don't reach the future like by the end of the movie. So it's just nothing for us to work with at the moment regarding these teenagers. You get to know a bit deeper about Casey's character though. She is disconnected with people, seems to prefer being alone, and she calls her cat, but all of this makes sense seriously when you know how she grew up and about her parental issues. However, things become contradictory when she hesitates to help these teenage girls who are in trouble and some weird spidey guy is trying to kill them, and talks about leaving them to their parents like 3 times in the movie. I mean, come on, she's a paramedic, she helps people for a living. Well, one would assume if the script and the content does not have much to offer, you would at least be hopeful about beautiful shots, good CGI and action sequences, spider guy swinging around in the beautiful city. Where do I even start? There are so many close-up shots like zoomed right into the face of the middle of an action scene that it's really hard to keep track of what's happening. I mean, the reason Spider-Man swinging is such a cool shot is because of the surrounding. It's because you can see how high he jumps or he falls from is what makes it thrilling. It's the surrounding that makes it more grander, gives it that grand look. But not a single shot like that in the movie was there that tries to expand on this. There are so close up body shots that it almost felt like there was no shooting space for the crew. I could not really understand what the directors were trying to visualize here, but let me know in the comments if anyone could, relate to that or like that creative decision. There are weird cut sequences and glitch like multiversal transitions happening throughout the movie. Every time Casey looks in the future or transition happen to past, or just when we move on to next scene as well. well. So these felt interesting and fresh at the very beginning, but towards the end, the movie starts doing it too much, where I felt it overdid it and I just wanted to focus on the scene at hand. The one good thing that I really liked in the movie is Dakota's involvement as Cassie. She seems to be giving it all, enjoying every bit of being this disconnected mid-30s girl who just discovered powers and is babysitting 3 rebellious teenage girls. There's only this single emotional scene during her visit to Peru where her acting felt a hit and a miss. Other than that, she was a treat to watch. And emotional scenes remind me that the connection, the camaraderie that I was hoping to find among these 4 girls was missing somewhere. They do have conversations that include caring for one another, but they just feel like dialogues, and the art of telling versus art of showing again plays part here as well. Well, that's it. I mean, it's an origin story, so you would get a lot of exposition heavy stuff, a lot of explaining and slow burn. Whether you like it or not, it's entirely up to you. It's just 1 hour and 54 minutes of your time and money, and if you do decide to skip it, I don't think you would miss a lot on the Spider Universe from Sony. And in the list of Sony's Spider-Man universe, it's gonna be super hard to select what you dislike the most, and it looks like Sony does not care as well. There aren't any post-credit scenes, just a heads up, so don't be the only person sitting alone in the theater hoping something might pop up. Finally, the best thing about this movie is that it's not good, which means, looking at the historical trends, the next superhero movie that we might receive might be actually really good. I just don't want to speak too soon, but one can hope.